Hi, welcome back to the SidePlate Tekla component tutorial video series. In this video, we will be covering the configuration tool. So let's get started. You'll first want to launch Tekla Structures, open up your Tekla model, then launch our SidePlate desktop application. First thing you'll have to do is locate your SidePlate XML file. Next, you have to accept the terms and conditions. I'll link to a video below that goes over this step more in detail. Alright, so the very first tab we have is Configuration. And inside of Configuration, it has two sub-tabs. One is Material Configuration and Connection Configuration. At first, Material Configuration is loading because it's going through your Tekla Structures catalogs for materials, bolts, and shapes to make sure that the sizes that we sent in the XML match your Tekla Structures model. So if we look here underneath Materials, we have an A572-50 material, and we have a match here inside your catalog. Same for A529-50. Now for bolts, we said use A490X or F2280, and we don't have a match for that. In order to make sure you are selecting the correct bolt grade for your project, if you go to the very first page of your side plate drawings and look on the top left-hand side, you should find a section that talks about the different material grades. So we want to use A490. And then for parts, we see that the XML came in with a L 4x4 by 3/4, but the fraction part was a little wonky. It doesn't match our Tekla catalog, so we're going to go ahead and select the appropriate angle size. 4x4 by 3/4. Now the other part of the configuration window is about our connections. Here we can change the names of the parts. So if we want to have the plate A's, we call it plate A or something else, you can change that here. Same thing for the angles. We can change all the plate profile prefixes from PLs to whatever fits your needs. We can also change the classes. We want to change the plate A to 14, and you can change the part mark number. If you change the number, that will work great to be whatever you want to start there. Or if you check the checkbox, it will get the part mark number from the column. From there, we will click Apply, and this will update our project. Now we have enabled grid matching and individual connection. I will link to those videos below so you can go over those in greater detail. Right now, I want to pause the video and apply a few connections. Okay, I'm back. So if you recall, we made plate A class 14, and we see that the plate A's came in with the class 0. This is due to a limitation with how we apply connections into Tekla Structures from an external application. However, it's very easy to fix. All we have to do is select all of our connections together. Our connection UI will pop up. We'll uncheck all the boxes, and we will click Modify. So right now, the UI is going through and it's modifying all the connections that we had selected, and Tekla is processing that. And if we look here now that our models have updated to the appropriate classes. See, we can see our plate A's now have class 14. Okay, so in the event you detailed all your connections with A490X bolts, and then you realized, oh, I really wanted the TC variant of those. You don't have to go back to the connections one by one and update all those bolts. You can go back to our application. We can go back to material configuration. We can change the A490X ST to the F2280, and we'll click Apply. Now what we can do here is we can click the Modify button. What this does, it goes through all your connections in Tekla Structures and sees if it's a side plate connection. And if it does, it's going to call Modify on those connections, so that way we can have the correctly updated bolts. So if we go ahead and we look at our bolts here, we can see we now have F2280X ST bolts. Well, thank you for tuning in to this session, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.